What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the real reason why Nia Jax was fired. Is this why the other WWE superstars were fired? The wrestling world reacts to the firings, Dana Brooke's fiance arrested, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Now, first story looks at the real reason why Nia Jax was fired. Topping today's news is an update on the WWE's 4th October release of 18 superstars from NXT and the main roster. While the WWE's recent rash of releases isn't as surprising as past ones have been, fans are still curious as to why there is any real reasons for the WWE shit-canning 18 superstars in one night. But now it appears at least some of the releases may have been due to vaccination issues. The Mat Men Wrestling podcast Andrew Zarian recently spoke to a source regarding the WWE roster cuts. It's believed that possibly 4 individuals were released due to not being vaccinated. Dave Meltzer elaborated on the story in this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter, saying, "Some of the talent released was due to them refusing to get vaccinated and not being big enough stars to get away with that. While the number going around is that 5 of the 18 were not vaccinated, one talent in the company said it was a larger number than that. On the main roster, talent can tour foreign countries without being vaccinated. However, talent that may have been cut due to not being vaccinated were told they were let go due to budgetary cuts." One superstar who seems to fall into this category is Nia Jax, who the New York Post wrote, "Nia Jax was amongst the WWE's long list of released wrestlers on Thursday. A source with knowledge of WWE's operations told the Post that one of the reasons Nia Jax, a former WWE Raw Women's Champion, was released is that she is unvaccinated." Jax's stance on vaccinations is well known, as is her reputation for injuring wrestlers in the ring. The WWE may have seen this slew of superstars released as a chance to get rid of Jax. Although the story hasn't been confirmed or the names of the wrestlers who allegedly passed on vaccinations, it fits in with the WWE's policy of using lower-tiered wrestlers to make an example of when it comes to disciplinary issues. The WWE is certainly not the only workplace where the question of whether or not to get vaccinated has come up, but booting out wrestlers who rock the boat will likely make most doubters comply, at least if history is any indicator. WWE superstars have a habit of rolling over for Mr. McMahon whenever it comes to standing up for themselves, and the spate of releases will probably keep wrestlers' jellified spines from tightening up. At the same time, the WWE can claim the releases are due to budget cuts, a ridiculous reason given the WWE's latest profit reports of over $250 million. But why were the other superstars fired? Well, there's more information coming in on why some of the WWE superstars were released, with Dave Meltzer noting in the latest Wrestling Observer that age is also likely a part of the many decisions because the company is well aware they don't have enough talent in the 20s on television and are looking at recruiting bigger, younger, and people with more of a legitimate athletic background going forward. The new directives on hiring new women is the recommendations are 25 or younger. This is no shocker as fans have been hearing stories about Vince McMahon's goal to hire bigger and younger stars to the WWE, hence the retooling of NXT from a WWE version of Ring of Honor to NXT 2.0. Now, for those wondering whether released superstars might file an age discrimination suit against the WWE, this seems unlikely as the US Equal Employment Opportunity, which defines age discrimination as treating an applicant or employee less favorably because of his or her age, only applies to people who are 40 years and older. There may also be the question of whether wrestlers' status as independent contractors even make them eligible for pursuing such a claim. Unfortunately, the age issue usually impacts female wrestlers more than male wrestlers due to the perception by some that female wrestlers need to be young and good looking. While there are exceptions, a review of the WWE's female roster suggests that observation has substance to it. But what do you guys think? Did the WWE release some of its wrestlers due to age? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, the wrestling world reacts to the releases. Now, the wrestling community is already reacting to the WWE releases, with grapplers in and out of the WWE showing their support for their jobless brothers and sisters, and others condemning the WWE's decision. Mick Foley chimed in saying, "So Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux get to be a duo again, and whoever picks them up has one of the hottest acts in the biz. Unfortunately, it seems WWE is sometimes intent on trying to reinvent the wheel." Australian performer Shaz McKenzie tweeted her disgust with the WWE. Releasing couples together is trash. Go in the bin, WWE, like you know you've just stripped an entire household of their income. Trash. Speaking from personal experience, yes. Highly don't recommend that level of stress to anyone. Just awful. Some Twitter twits accuse McKenzie of using the releases to gain attention for her own career, a reminder that the Twitterverse has far too many people who ate lead paint as a child. Renee Paquette said, seriously, that's a list of stars. They'll be just fine wherever they land. Rhea Ripley simply added a sad face and a heart emoji, and current AEW World Champion Kenny Omega welcomed the released superstars to join him in AEW, playing up his heel character when he tweeted, "All rivals, all friends, some I've never encountered. I don't mind padding my record if they don't mind being a statistic. See if I care." Mickie James, who was released from the WWE in April of 2021, reminded the released wrestlers that endings always bring grand new beginnings, my friends. Hopefully your words will prove true for the various talented superstars who suddenly find themselves out of work. While the recent shutdown of Ring of Honor may make options seem limited, there could be unknown opportunities awaiting wrestlers on the horizon as wrestling seems bigger than ever. Next up, Michael Cole reveals he's lost 65% of his hearing. That is shocking news concerning longtime WWE play-by-play man Michael Cole. Cole, who currently calls the action on SmackDown alongside Pat McAfee, recently revealed on the Pat McAfee show that he has lost 65% of his hearing. The matter came up when McAfee was asked what he and Cole discussed during commercial breaks. Michael Cole's deaf, so he can't hear an effing thing we say. According to Wrestling News' transcript of Cole's appearance, Cole confirmed McAfee's statement. That is true, I'm actually like 65% hearing loss. Cole said that he said 3 words to McAfee during 3 commercial breaks, but he's able to continue his job because he wears an earpiece in his ear. McAfee then thanked Cole for his years of work at the announcer's table. I'm like, man, I appreciate your commitment to the entertainment because that's 100% because you're having a headset on for 25 years. A Cole story is another example of how people courageously battle personal challenges behind the scenes. The WWE is obviously very happy with Cole's work when you see the accommodations it has made for him to continue calling the action. Next up, when can those released wrestlers return? As unfortunate as the WWE's releases are, fans can't help but ask when these talents can return to the squared circle. Normally, NXT wrestlers are bound by 30-day non-compete clauses, while main roster stars must wait 90 days before they can wrestle. However, Cultaholic's Mitch Wadden is reporting that Karrion Kross and Scarlett have been confirmed to be appearing at WrestlePro Alaska event I Heart Wrestling at the Sullivan Arena in Anchorage, Alaska on Tuesday 7th December. Did the WWE grant Kross an early release or make an exception for him to appear at this show? After all, a 90-day non-compete clause will prohibit appearances until February 2022. If so, what of the other WWE releases? Hopefully we'll find out soon. And finally, Dana Brooke's fiance arrested for battery. And last but not least, Dana Brooke's fiance Elias Diaz was recently arrested for battery. Diaz, who is a professional boxer, was pinched after he allegedly went after someone who allegedly made disparaging comments about him online. According to Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens, Diaz found out where an online troll was living and allegedly punched the person in the mouth, which caused a laceration. As a result, he's being charged with battery and has a $5,000 bond. While it's unlikely Diaz's action will curb the actions of the legions of keyboard warriors out there, we can always dream. But there you have it, guys, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know in pro wrestling. Be sure to leave your comments down below and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.